So if you're new here, hello, my name's Dave and I'm the idiot that thought it was a good idea to swap my 3-bed semi-detached house in Leeds with 20 years left on the mortgage for a wreck, mortgage free in Blackpool. With this being our plan B house and our first house falling through after 6 months, we became desperate and we'd gone for a bigger, more challenging restoration. Right, I'm back with another video. This week I'm going to see what can be done in a day with this 100-year-old staircase that we have named the Dennis the Menace staircase. What was done to this staircase is criminal. Before the red and black, it was purple and silver. It's also covered in dog hair. The last occupants of this house were what the street have called the neighbours from hell. I've come along, silly old me, and sunk my life's work so far into this unmortgageable property. I know, stupid is as stupid does. So if you want to see the progress, don't forget to subscribe. With the budget blown, it's now a pay-as-you-go project. Currently, on a normal week, as a stay-at-home dad working 2 days a week, I'm lucky to get 7 hours a week to work on the house. Everywhere I look, I can see tens, if not hundreds of hours of work. This isn't a quick fix. It's also not sugar-coated, but let's get into it. And it starts by making sure your house is well ventilated and you've got the correct PPE for the job at hand. This isn't a how-to video. I wouldn't advise doing it this way, but I'm out of options. We have tried multiple different things that you guys have suggested, and none of them have really worked. And we're fighting with time and money. So the heat gun is definitely the quickest and cheapest option. I think parts of this staircase were originally waxed, so just a little bit of heat and multiple layers of paint just off in one go. After that small sample piece on the stringer, I couldn't help myself. I think I got a little bit trigger happy. I just wanted to keep going because it was definitely working. It definitely took a little bit of working out, but the heat gun on the lowest setting and just gently heating up the surface until the paint just came away. By this point, I couldn't stop myself. Honestly, any flat surface was getting stripped. It's just, how the hell am I going to strip these spindles? Ideas are brewing. By this point, I thought all of the wood matched, but actually, the handrail looks like sapele, the newel post looks like sapele, possibly mahogany. The stringer, I thought, was similar, but after sanding it down, it's quite clearly pine, and the spindles are pitch pine as well. So, yeah, not too sure how I'm going to finish all this. Oh, getting the spindles out. Yeah, I thought it'd be quite difficult as well, but a couple of taps with a hammer and they just lifted off. You can see the absolute insane amount of layers of paint just clinging on. Once that bull nose is off the 100-year-old tread, a couple of taps with the hammer and the spindle just came straight out. Well, it didn't come straight out. There's a skewed nail which needs cutting before damaging any of the decorative woodwork on the stringer. Once the spindles were loose, I just levered them off using the short edge against the handrail. But not all of the tread bull noses came off so easily. This one had a very old fix of two of the world's biggest slotted screws. Yep, this is the only broken spindle that I've spotted anyway. Just threw some glue on it and put it in a clamp. Job's a good one. And whilst the spindles are out, I can strip the treads around the spindles and risers as well, but also the underside of the handrail. So this is how you don't use a chisel, but it's also the perfect tool for the job. So, whatever. Desperate to get a small section of staircase sorta done. This is where it gets weird. And I've fabricated a tiny little bit of a rotisserie. I know, after talking about having the spindles sent off to have them chemically dipped, there ain't no chance of that happening, so somehow I've got to do it myself, and this is what I came up with. I know. Yeah, I know. Crazy, innit? I give you the rotisserie. I've definitely lost the plot. This was only an experiment. It still needs sanding. And after a couple of attempts, I think I'd sussed it. Don't hate my genius. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's easier to sand the flat surfaces on the bench, get them done. Job's a good one. So I'm calling that success. So the other 4 or 5 spindles I've got loose, I'm going to do the same process. Soz. Honestly, with all this dog hair, it smells like there's a barber shop on fire. Before I glue the spindles back in, I just need to make sure the areas are clear of paint, because I can't just leave this this staircase open, so it's knowing me, I'd fall through the hole. Quick sand, and I should be ready to put the spindles back in, or the 6 that I've done. Final little bit of prep before I glue them back in, making sure I've got all the spindles back where they used to be. I've gone for a polyurethane glue, which, you know, I don't know, but everything seems a little bit loose. Obviously 100 years, everything's moved a little bit, so there's some gaps to fill, so I was hoping this would just fill the gaps and give it a good solid fix. Obviously, with the Arctic tundra falling upon the UK, I've got my big coat on because we've got all the doors and windows open, so it's absolutely freezing. It's not perfect, but it's definitely not as bad as it was. A definite improvement. So wondering why the staircase was so rickety. Basically, it was held together with pins and nails, or if there was glue, it's no longer doing anything after 100 years of movement. This small section is solid compared to the rest of it. Just a few more spindles left to do, look. Right, so I've ordered some timber to do the second fix upstairs. No, I can't do it all. There's a wall that still needs plastering, and the door lining I did in the last episode. Yeah, I know, a bit of a waste of time, but it's not actually central to the opening, so it's gonna look an absolute mess if I try and arc it where it is now. So I've bit the bullet and I've ordered a 6-inch lining, so hopefully next week I can swap that round. But anyway, I'm going to start off by making some plinth blocks and replicate exactly what was here. Yep, I know, I did have to take the guard off. I couldn't have ripped these timbers down with it on, so yeah. Normally, riving knife and a guard on it. Quickly rip them down to the exact width of the old ones, and a quick sand, and that should be them done. Quickly cut all my blocks to length, and then we're good to go. Annoyingly, my compressor is broken, and it's not the fuse. I'm not too sure what it is, but I only have a pneumatic 18 gauge pinner. It's just sod's law, isn't it? So I'm having to use my 16 gauge battery nailer instead. I know people are going to kick off, but it was either this or do nothing at all, so yeah. Load of new architrave. No, it's not an exact match to the old stuff, but it is in keeping with the period of the property, so we're going to run with this up here. So I've also got some skirting boards which are so close to the original stuff that I can just get it off the shelf in Blackpool as well. I've got a load of this. The only difference is it's not as chunky as the old stuff, and that is pretty much the only difference to it. But that double sunk skirting, them blocks and that architrave just really, it's the icing on the cake up here. Sadly, it's not all done up here, but yeah, we're moving forward. Before we have a look at how the insulation on one of our finished rooms has improved the house, there's no better way of showing it off than with a thermal imaging camera. So I want to thank Topdon for gifting me this clever, funky little gadget. Available with a lightning port or a Type-C connector, or alternatively you can get the Android version. With a standard image resolution of 256 by 192, it also has a TI-SR feature you can use for clearer images. I'm not a tech-savvy person, but to get this working all I had to do was download the Top Infrared app, plug in the camera, and I'm ready to go. There's a discount code on screen now, but it's only available for a limited time, so get yours quick. All the information will be in the description. Right, so here we are. Check it out. So this room has been insulated, and you can see how the walls are glowing orange, apart from the corner, a bit of a cold spot in the corner, and as you can see the ceiling hasn't been insulated yet, and it shows. Funny thing is I can see where all of the stud work is and the ceiling joists, so quite a handy tool actually, just for that reason alone. So if we step into a room that hasn't been insulated on the external walls, you can see it's a lot colder. If you're wondering where my central heating pipes run under the floor, it's quite obvious, isn't it? And if we look at this towel radiator in the bathroom, we can see that the top two rails aren't as warm as the rest of it, so we've got a bit of air in there, so this radiator needs bleeding. And here's a good visual representation of why you shouldn't paint your radiator. Yeah, I was going to replace this radiator, but funds and what have you, so I think this one will just end up getting covered up. Yeah, the porch as well. This is where all the cold air comes in the broken bit. But yeah, front door, we can see exactly where all cold air is getting in. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Not very many of you have subscribed, so tick the bell, it really helps, or give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment, because it all helps the algorithm and helps my video reach more people. But yeah, a bit of an improvement, I would say. But that's not much, is it? For a day. Anyway, I know, crazy, absolutely crazy. But yeah, tick the bell and I'll talk to you next time. Don't know when that will be, but I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.